Hello and welcome to this business organization series, kind of laying out why you should utilize business organization structures in your farm and some general thoughts on what each business structure does. This is the first video in this series, and my name is Paul Geringer. I'm the Extension Legal Specialist in the Department of Agricultural and Resource Economics, and I'm a member of the Ag Law Education Initiative. With this video, we're going to talk about why you'd want to utilize a business structure in your farm. In the start, we want to look at, kind of how are these entities already used on the farms in Maryland. So you look at the charts that I put together, and you can see that the individual or family type farm, which is also going to be known as a sole proprietorship as we go along with the next video, control basically the majority of the farms in Maryland. They control the majority of the acres, and they control the majority of the value of production. As we go down the line and look at, partnerships, corporations, or other business entities, they each have, a small share of the farms in Maryland. They're not as widely used, and people may actually want to consider using these if they have goals in mind, such as limiting their own liability and setting up structures so multiple family members can be able to participate in the farm, or being able to take in other sources of financing other than just borrowing from a bank on a personal line of credit, or just utilizing their own personal assets in the farm. But these are things we're going to talk about in the upcoming video series. So is this just a Maryland problem? No, it's not just a Maryland problem. The table you see is from the U.S. Census, same place the last table was from, but this is for the national averages. You can see again, the majority of farms, majority of land in farms, and the majority of the value production is all going to be controlled by these sole proprietorships, and business entities are going to have a little bit of this as we go along. So why do you want to consider using a business entity in the farm? Well, the common reasons are going to be you want to limit your own liability. You want to shield your personal assets from your business assets. You may be concerned that you could potentially lose your house. You may be in agritourism, concerned the person may get hurt on a corn maze or something like that, or a hayride. You could potentially lose your house. This is one way to shield your house and your other personal assets from the farm business itself. The other reason is the business can continue on from generation to generation. And what I mean by that is I realize, people may have had farmland in the family for many generations, but as we're going to talk about with each one of these business entities, especially with the sole proprietorship, the current business ends whenever the current owner either passes away or gives it to another person. So there may be times we want to utilize a business entity that will continue on until it's terminated, to where that business entity can build up the capital, can build up the equity, can build up the good financial standing to where it can endure for generations down the road and not just the farmland. As we talk about these, the ones we're going to talk about in the video series are sole proprietorships, partnerships, both general and limited partnerships, limited liability companies, corporations, cooperatives, and then something that most states, including Maryland, have is this idea of a family farm business, and what are the steps you have to go through in each one of these to set one up, and what are the pros and cons of each one of these. And we're going to talk about each one of these throughout this video series. The other thing to point out is all of what we're talking about, myself and Ashley Newhall will be doing some of these videos as well, is we put together a fact sheet over this topic, and it's going to provide more detail for you as you go along, and you want to consider which business entity to use. You kind of get a general idea in the video, but you want more information, go to the publication, look at it, take your time, read through it, understand it. You can ask us questions, but you can find that publication at go.umd.edu/busorgs. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me. My phone number is 301-405-3541. You can get me by email at lgoering@umd.edu. You can follow me on Twitter at AgLawPaul. Thank you again for watching.